Welcome to my class of operating system. Today we will learn CPU scheduling algorithms. One is shortest job first scheduling, another is priority scheduling. A different approach of CPU scheduling is the shortest job first scheduling algorithm. This algorithm associates with each process the length of the process next CPU burst. When the CPU is available, it is assigned to the process that has the smallest next CPU burst. If the next CPU burst of two processes are same, FCFS scheduling is used to break the tie. However, it is to be kept in mind that a more appropriate term for this scheduling method would be shortest next CPU burst algorithms. Because scheduling depends on the length of the next CPU burst of a process. SJF is optimal. It gives minimum average waiting time for a given set of processes. So it is said to be optimal. Consider an example with process P1, P2, P3 having burst time 6, 8, 7, 3 respectively. So we can see the FCFS average waiting time is 10.25, whereas shortest job first average waiting time is 7 milliseconds. So how it is 7 milliseconds? Let's do the calculations. First, the waiting time is 3 milliseconds for process P1 because the process P1 has to, this is shortest SJF, so process P1 needs to wait for 3 milliseconds. 16 milliseconds for process P2, 9 milliseconds for process P3, 0 milliseconds for process P4. Thus, the average waiting time is 3 plus 16 plus 9 plus 0 divided by 4 is equal to 7 milliseconds. By comparison, if we were using the FCFS scheduling scheme, the average waiting time would be 10.25 milliseconds. The SJF scheduling algorithm is provably optimal in that it gives the minimum average waiting time for a given set of processes. Moving a short process before a long one decreases the waiting time of the short processes more than it increases the waiting time. So it gives the optimal result. By comparison, we were using the FCFS scheme. The average waiting time would be 10.25 millisecond. The SJF algorithm is probably optimal. Consequently, the average waiting time decreases. The real difficulty with the SJF algorithm is knowing the length of the next CPU burst. It is the real difficulty. For long-term job scheduling in a batch system, we can use as the length the process time limit that a user specifies when he submits the job. Thus, users are motivated to estimate the process time limit accurately. So there are two schemes of shortest job first scheduling. One is non-preemptive, another is preemptive. Under non-preemptive, once CPU is given to a process, it cannot be preempted until it completes its CPU burst. And the next scheme is preemptive. If a new process arrives with CPU burst length less than remaining time of current executing process preempt, this scheduling is known as shortest remaining time first. So this is one of the NAT chart which is drawn of shortest job first scheduling, which is non-preemptive. We find that the average waiting time is 4 milliseconds. The average waiting time reduces when the under shortest job first scheduling, which is non-preemptive, the average waiting time reduces. See carefully here, process P1 has to wait for 0 millisecond, process P3 has to wait for process P2 has to wait for 6 milliseconds, process P3 has to wait for 3 milliseconds, and P4 has to wait for 4 milliseconds. So here the average waiting time is reduced to 4, and this is the shortest job first scheduling for preemptive. You can see that for non-preemptive average waiting time is 4, for preemptive it is 3. So preemptive scheduling is considered more efficient than non-preemptive shortest job first scheduling. Now we will learn about the advantages of shortest job first algorithm. The scheduling algorithm is probably optimal. Minimum average time for a given set of processes, decreases waiting time for short processes, increases waiting time for long processes, average waiting time is decreased. Shortest job first algorithm is used frequently in long-term CPU scheduling. Now we will learn about the disadvantages. First disadvantage is difficulty in knowing the length of the next CPU request or CPU burst. SJF algorithm cannot be used for short-term CPU scheduling. It is used only for long-term CPU scheduling. Priority scheduling. So with this we come to the end of shortest job scheduling, and we will learn about priority scheduling, which is another scheduling algorithm. SJF algorithm is a special case of general priority scheduling algorithm. A priority is associated with each process, and CPU is allocated to the process with the highest priority. Equal priority processes are scheduled in FCFS order. An SJF algorithm is simply a priority algorithm where the priority P is the inverse of the predicted next CPU burst. The larger the CPU burst, the lower the priority, and vice versa. So consider one problem. Consider the following set of processes assumed to have arrived at time 0 in the order P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5 with the length of CPU burst given in millisecond. Using priority scheduling, we would schedule these processes according to the following NAT chart. The average waiting time is 8.2 millisecond. Look carefully. The average waiting time is 8.2 millisecond. Priorities can be defined either internally or externally. Keep this in mind that priority can be defined either externally or internally. Internally defined priorities use some measurable quantities or quantities to compute the priority of a process. For example, time limits, memory requirement, number of open file, and the ratio of average input output burst to average. CPU bursts have been used in computing priorities. This is about internal priority. Now, if we learn about external priorities are set by criteria outside the operating system, such as the importance of the process, the type and amount of fund being paid for computer use, the department sponsoring the work, and other factors are there. Also, we should keep in mind that priority scheduling algorithms can be either preemptive or non-preemptive. When a process arrives at the ready queue, its priority is compared with the priority of currently running processes. A preemptive priority scheduling algorithm will preempt the CPU. If the priority of the newly arrived process is higher than the priority of the currently running processes, then a non-preemptive scheduling algorithm will simply put the new process at the head of the ready queue. Now, priority scheduling algorithm has a major problem. What is the major problem? Indefinite blocking or starvation. A process that is ready to run but waiting for the CPU can be considered as blocked. A priority scheduling algorithm can leave some low priority process waiting indefinitely. In a heavily loaded computer system, a steady stream of higher priority process can prevent a low priority process from getting the CPU. But what is the solution of this problem? A solution to this problem of indefinite blockage of low priority process is aging. Aging is a technique of gradually increasing the priority of processes that wait in the system for a long time. For example, if priorities range from 127 to 0, we could increase the priority of a waiting process by 1 every 15 minutes. Eventually, even a process with an initial priority of 127 would have the highest priority in the system and would be executed. In fact, it would take no more than 32 hours for a priority 127 process to age to a priority 0 process. These are some advantages and disadvantages of priority scheduling. What are the advantages of priority scheduling? It is simple algorithm. Important jobs are dealt quickly since priority is there. Can have a preemptive version. What are the disadvantages? Process starvation can be a problem. Can be altered through or can be solved through aging technique, which involves gradually increasing the priority of process that have been waiting a long time in the system. This is all about priority scheduling advantages and disadvantages. So, thank you students for watching. Go through the advantages, disadvantages and consideration about the scheduling algorithm. It is very necessary to keep in mind the scheduling criteria or under the situation on which the scheduling algorithm is to be selected. Thank you for watching.